Hey everyone, this is Keum and welcome back to my channel, and today we are talking about Epex's Keum Donghyun. I know it's been a while since you've probably seen me on your feed, but with all the things surrounding Keum Donghyun right now, and not many people talking about it, I thought I would dust up my old video editing software and make a video again. For those who are stumbling across my channel for the first time, my channel has primarily been a channel about survival shows, where I'd post stuff like line distributions and contestant compilations from shows like Boys 24, The Unit, Produce 101 Season 2, and Produce X 101, the latter one being quite notable since it was the last time I ever posted again. This was due to many reasons: school, adult life, etc., but most notably, after Produce X 101, due to the rigging allegations, I vowed to never watch any survival show ever again. And as you can imagine, since most of my videos were about survival shows, I just lost interest in making videos altogether. However, before I hung up my interest in survival shows for good, Keum Donghyun was actually my very last bias from a survival show. Since Produce X101, Keum Donghyun had gone on to make his debut with C9 Entertainment in 2021 as the center and main dancer of Epex. However, ever since May 16th of this year, a mere 2 days after he celebrated his 22nd birthday, Keum Donghyun went on an abrupt hiatus. And over the past few months, he has slowly been erased from Epex's content, even for content that he was physically present for. With no explanations from C9 Entertainment despite uproar from fans, many fans are getting agitated and worried if Keum Donghyun will ever return to Epex, especially in light of other idols like Jiyeon from ISNA departing her group after her long hiatus this year. So, before we dive into the current state, I thought I'd give a little bit of background on where Keum Donghyun came from if this is your first time hearing about him. Like I mentioned, Keum was a contestant in Mnet's 2019 survival show, Produce X 101. As one of the youngest on the show, Donghyun quickly captured the interest of netizens due to his magnetic stage presence despite his young age, and his ability to seamlessly pull off more mature concepts with ease, a big contrast to his bright, almost puppy-like appearance. Throughout the show, Donghyun steadily went up the ranks, and on the second last episode, he actually made it to the interim debut lineup at 10th place. Now, during the finale night, in the middle of the episode, Keum Donghyun, alongside Nam Doyeon, Lee Hang-gyul, and Son Dong-pyo, were revealed to be one of the contenders for 10th place, which was the last position within the debut lineup. I'll be honest, it's always a sticky situation to me whenever contestants are shown to be a contender for last place in the middle of the finale, since it often causes panic voting and could really shake up the ranks. Out of the people who were shown, 3 of the contestants did rise higher from 10th place and made it into the final lineup, with Dongpyo ranking 6th, Hang-yeol placing 7th, and Doyeon placing 8th. I thought Donghyun probably would have been close to the cutoff, but to my surprise, he turned out to be 14th, which means he dropped in rank despite originally being shown on the screen as a candidate for 10th place. At that point, I just figured, well, tough luck. I guess maybe being shown as a contender for last place doesn't always cause panic voting. But in the back of my mind, something just didn't sit right with me that he dropped to 14th place. The math could be justifiable, but it seemed off, especially with how popular he had gotten in the last few episodes. My soul felt like he made it in. Honestly, I was so freaking sad for a good few months. Do you know when you come across an idol and just see the star power and potential they exude? That boy was born for the stage, and it sucked that he was going to be put in C9's basement for God knows how long instead of debuting with X1, especially considering that they had just debuted CIX a few months prior. But, lo and behold, a few months after Produce X 101's finale, it was announced that the final lineup did get manipulated. Keum Donghyun was supposed to be in the final lineup as 8th place alongside Gu Jongmo and Jin Hyuk, who were also rigged out. After a year or so in C9's basement with some trainee vlogs here and there, on February 28, 2021, C9 Rookies was announced, with Keum Donghyun being revealed as the first member. He would later be joined by 7 other trainees under C9, who as 8 would debut as Epex on June 8, 2021 with the song Lockdown. Since 2021, Epex had seen moderate success, with album sales gradually increasing with every comeback. Their last comeback before Keum's absence sold over 200,000, and Epex is currently the best-selling boy group who debuted in 2021, with over 1.1 million copies sold. Throughout Keum's career with Epex, he's also gone on to make some acting debuts, starring on Best Mistake, Fall For You, and Scripting Your Destiny, to name a few. Additionally, last year he became an MC for Show Champion. However, this past April, it was announced that he would be stepping down as the MC, with April 30th being his final broadcast. C9 cited that he stepped down in order to focus on activities with Epex. Keep this reasoning in mind as we uncover what will happen over the next few weeks. On May 6, 2025, Epex made a small comeback titled So Nice. A few days after the comeback, on May 14th, Keum celebrated his 22nd birthday with fans. Many notable fan sites of Keum Donghyun held birthday cafe events, which he attended. He attended cafe events on May 13th and May 14th, and this clip you're seeing on the screen right now was him leaving his birthday cafe event, I believe, on May 14th. This clip is notable to me because, frankly, it's the last live update I've personally seen of him, since just 2 days later, C9 announced that he would be going on pretty much an indefinite hiatus. Their statement on May 16th reads as follows. Hello, this is C9 Entertainment. This is a notice regarding Epex member Keum. Due to Keum's personal reasons, his activities will be suspended until related matters are settled. Epex will be promoting as a 7-member group starting today. We kindly ask for the understanding of all fans. So, a couple things from this statement come off a little strange for me. For one, it sounds very cold and direct. Overall, while it seems quite clinical and cold, I think the phrase that most fans are concerned about is the whole until related matters are settled. Now we all know this dreaded personal reasons, catch-all explanation. It's always so vague and never gives any fans assurance. Ideally, it would be great if fans could get at least some sort of explanation and assurance that he is doing all right and would have plans to return in the future. And in fairness, maybe it truly was for personal reasons. And perhaps Donghyun is going through a rough patch in his life and just genuinely needs some time off. As fans, we're not entitled to know everything, and that's completely okay. However, it is the actions of C9 Entertainment after this announcement that has caused fans to start speculations and worried about his status as a member of Epex. First, we have Donghyun's wipeout from the Taipei concert. Epex was in the middle of their third concert, Youth Deficiency, where they held a previous leg in Macau on May 3rd, around 2 weeks before Keum's hiatus. During the Macau leg, Keum's name was present in all the concert banners and all related marketing. Their next leg was in Taipei, to be held around a week after the hiatus announcement on May 24th. Despite the short time period after the announcement, C9 made the effort to remove him from all concert branding, such as removing his name from concert banners and marketing materials, and even going as far as removing him from the concert VCRs, which are those little videos they play in between sets. I can kind of justify removing his name from the banners, since perhaps they want to be clear to fans that he won't be present in the Taipei leg. But removing him from the VCRs is a bit strange, especially considering that in other concerts I've been to, such as NCT 127, they still kept members like Jaehyun and Taeyong in the VCRs, who were in the military at the time, as a sort of commemoration. Removing him so last minute definitely raised some eyebrows for fans, since it just seemed so unnecessary for someone just going on hiatus. Next, we've got Keum's erasure from social media. After his hiatus, Keum's fan cafe became inactive, which was shortly followed by Keum's account on From being removed from Epex's profile. These two things technically make sense, especially with a paid service like From, since you wouldn't want to charge fans for members who won't be able to post. However, over the latter half of May, C9 stopped using Keum's hashtags on social media. When Keum went on hiatus for COVID, C9 still kept using his hashtags. So we've seen from the past that a member simply being on a break doesn't mean they'd stop using their hashtags. On a smaller scale, it was also Amin's birthday on May 22nd, a week after Keum's hiatus. Typically, on members' birthdays, all other members will post birthday greetings on Twitter, typically accompanied by photos of the other members. While it was expected that Keum wouldn't be posting any birthday greetings for Amin, I found it odd that Keum was in none of the other 6 members' photos. You'll also notice that in their lives, the other members won't mention Keum, only subtle hints alluding to him. It's as if the other members are forbidden from bringing him up in their content. Is this normal for someone who's just on a hiatus for personal reasons? Next, we've got Epex's collaboration with Don Quixote, the iconic Japanese discount store chain. So up until now, Keum's removal from stuff like the concert, hashtags, and social media. While shady, you could still kind of justify his removal because he wasn't present. However, with the Don Quixote collaboration, this was the first time since the hiatus that C9 needed to post about something that he was actually present for. He was present in all of the shoots and in all of the marketing, so you would imagine he'd be included in the hashtags now, right? Nope. And what's interesting was that while Don Quixote themselves originally had Keum Donghyun in their initial posts, in later posts, he also started becoming excluded. So now we have Keum Donghyun being excluded from things that he was actually physically present for. Now, if you still don't think any of this is shady, I think how Keum was treated during their 4th anniversary will seal the deal. So every year leading up to their debut anniversary, June 8th, Epex does this thing called 8 Carnivals, where Epex will post special content for the 8 days leading up to June 8th as a way to celebrate with fans. The first thing you'll notice is the promo poster. Take a look at the posters from the past few years. Now compare it with this year's poster. Notice anything? Well, for me, I noticed how empty the bottom half of the poster looks, where they typically put the members' names. Similar to the hashtags, it seems C9 may have want to avoid backlash from excluding Keum's name by just not including any names at all. The shoots for 8 Carnivals typically happen weeks before the anniversary, so one could assume that Keum was present for the pre-filmed anniversary content. But alas, when the scheduler came out, it was clear he wasn't participating, or at least, he wouldn't be shown during 8 Carnivals. Next, we have the crossword. This is such a minor thing, but it's the fact that it's so minor that makes it so telling. As part of 8 Carnivals, they had a crossword for fans to do where you had to find all of the members' names. Alas, Keum's name was nowhere to be found. Now this one just doesn't make sense. For all other content, you can justify that he would need to be present in order to be included. But a crossword? It would have been so easy to include him, just as some sort of commemoration since it's their anniversary. Excluding Keum from even just a simple crossword, in my opinion, makes this seem like a very deliberate exclusion. My final point from their anniversary is the cake. This year, Epex's anniversary cake included animal representations for each member. Unsurprisingly, at this point, there were only 7 animals on the cake. Similar to the crossword, Keum didn't need to be present in order for them to be able to symbolically include him in the cake. The members were even kind of awkward when realizing there were only 7 animals. My final point here will be Keum's removal from their music video, Grateful to Tears. It's very clear that he was part of the original video since you can still see him on the sidelines in parts of the music video. In this screenshot, you can even see him dancing with the rest of the members. If he was just on a regular hiatus and he was already in the music video, why not just keep him in? So with all that being said, what do you think? Is Keum really just on a regular hiatus due to personal reasons? Or could it be something more, considering how shady C9 has been with him? I think the best we can do is to continue pressuring C9 to provide some transparency on the situation. Some fans on Twitter have been organizing mass email templates to help demand more transparency, and I encourage you to do the same if you're a fan of Epex, Keum Donghyun, or even supported him on the sidelines during produce. But whatever ends up happening, I hope that Keum Donghyun will be able to pursue whatever he wants with his dreams, since, like I said at the beginning, that boy was born to be on stage. Anyway, that brings me to the end of this video. If you stuck around to the very end, thank you for sitting here and listening to me rant about C9. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe for more updates on Keum Donghyun, and let me know what you think about this situation in the comments. See you next time.